Hello, everyone. Welcome to Credential Up Houston. My name is Margaret Ford Fisher. This program will focus on the Greater Northside Chamber of Commerce and the mindset that leads to success. Our guest is Dr. Asheli S. Atkins, Executive Director of the Chamber and local business entrepreneur. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having
Dr.
me. I'm
Atkins.
so excited to be here.
Well, we're delighted you're here, and thank you so much. You know, it's really interesting because I really have quite a fondness for chambers of commerce and the work that the chambers do. And in fact, as president of the Northeast College for a number of years, worked very closely with the Northside Chamber of Commerce. I was on the board there. And there were a number of activities that were underway at the time. And of course, since COVID, a lot has changed. A lot has changed. So I'm delighted to meet you, and of course with Dr. Hernandez as well, the board chair. Great conversations just the other day. So I'd like to start first with asking you to tell us about the area that the Northside Chamber serves, Dr. Atkins.
So like you mentioned, we serve the Northside, which is a beautiful community made up of very diverse groups of people. So I would say most of our residents, when we're looking at data as far as like racial and like income, most of our residents, about 70% are Hispanic. When it comes to income, on average, about the average income, the average household income in the area is about $49,000 a year. But we have such variety of business owners, and so we have business owners who are in restaurants, we have business owners who have coffee shops, we have a lot of construction focused entrepreneurs in the area. So it's extremely diverse area when it comes to business, but also it's very family focused, very centered around family events and family activities. So we have a lot of farmers markets, there's a lot of parks. No matter what area of the North Side you move or you go to, there's a school, there's always like a high school or a college, some type of community event, whether it is a concert or even if it's a parade, there's always something engaged in the family as a whole, not just business owners and not just, single professional individuals. Northside is very family centered.
Well, you mentioned the growth of the Northside area and the beauty of the Northside area, in fact. And one of the goals of the Chamber is to focus on economic progress and the quality of life. So tell us just a little bit about both of those, please.
So one thing that's really important to us with the Chamber is to hold events that not only help business owners just to understand the basics of business ownership, but allowing them to create sustainable businesses. So with anybody, the goal of when they open a business is that it will be here 5, 10, 15 years down the line. But we have to make sure that they are equipped the skills that they need in order to do that. So making sure they have everything in order when it comes to their taxes and their finances and like permits and all of that, because we want to make sure that they're actually able to properly contribute to the economy, not just on the North Side, but within the city of Houston as a whole. And so a lot of the events that we're focusing on this year are moving our North Side businesses from just doing business on the North Side to doing business with the city of Houston, learning how to be subcontractors, we have an event coming up where we want to teach them how to become vendors with the college football playoff. And so these opportunities exist out there, but they have to move beyond the North Side. So when it comes to economic growth, it's understanding that economic growth is not just contingent or just specific on the North Side. You can grow the economy of the city of Houston or even Texas as a whole. So we really create these events that allow our business owners to get in front of different people that they would never have the opportunity to, to get in front of. Sitting down with somebody who works for the college football playoffs, like, when would you have that opportunity? So creating these events that allow them to do that is what we're here for.
Certainly. And of course, the vision is critically important in that mindset, the way you think as a person, as a board, with the board chair, et cetera. And I was so fascinated to go online and see some of the information that was included on the website for Women's History Month and with the board chair in particular. And all of the board members, for example, had an opportunity to post what they would now project on their younger selves and so forth. And your board chair shared something that I thought was really critically important that ties into that mindset of growth. And I'd like for us to just take a look at what the president of the board had to say. And we'll put that on the screen for Dr. Hernandez. And she said that I want young girls to get as much formal education as you can because no one can take that away from you. Be focused, value yourself, and don't let anyone tell you you can't do something.
Exactly.
Now that's a strong statement, isn't it? And then she said, I would tell my younger self to follow your own passions or explore more career paths and possibilities. And I think she would remind me that there will always be individuals lining up to be with you, thus choose wisely with both your heart and your mind. And so that's basically what will focus you with respect to growth and development of the area as well, with that kind of thinking.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure she shared that vision with the board.
And so she's a guiding light for the board, and not even just for the board, but for myself. Existing as executive director, Dr. Hernandez really brought me on and showed me, okay, these are the opportunities that exist out here. We know you have the skills, we know you have the experience, just go make it happen. And her giving me and trusting in me to have this freedom to lead the chamber, it was really really encouraging, and really it really gave me what I needed to just get the job done. And she's always behind me as we're creating all of these different events. And with her, it's like that, having access to formal education, even when it comes to us not working with just business owners, but high school students, making sure that they're aware of all the opportunities that exist out there. Coming to the event with HCC just the other day, allowed us to gain networking opportunities and plan events, all these beautiful things that are going to come from HCC. We're just happy to be a part of that, because we know that we can then, to her point, give people opportunity to formal education, but also allow them to explore all the different opportunities that are out there.
And that, of course, was our State of the College event at
I
our
loved
West Houston Institute. Yeah, we were so delighted that you were there, and it was certainly well attended and a great event in and of itself. You know, I'm wondering, you mentioned the young people as well. Are there mentoring opportunities for the young people?
Absolutely. So we at the Chamber, we're going to start, number one, a workforce program. So we're working with, I believe HCC, as I'm thinking about it, to have interns that are assisting us in various ways. The Chamber it's very small. We think about the Northside, and we're growing, following COVID and a lot of changes that we've had. So we would love to have interns, but then even beyond that, mentorship opportunities. If you are a young person and you want to open up a business, reach out to us. We can pair you with a different business owner on the North Side. No matter what the industry, we can find someone to mentor you. And if you want to be mentored by myself, or even by somebody as amazing as Dr. Hernandez, that is a great opportunity if you just email us.
Well, that sounds wonderful, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in just a moment. But we're going to take a break, and we will be right back. So please stay with us.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
The faculty at HCC represents the best of the city. They're committed to getting our students to their goals.
A 4-year degree.
Workforce training. A better life.
HCC, for everyone, anytime, anyway.
Welcome back to Credential Up Houston. We're continuing our discussion with Dr. Asheli Atkins with the Greater Northside Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so very much for staying with us. Dr. Atkins, we were talking about the Chamber and all of the great work that is underway, and the mentoring opportunities as well, which is really critically important. So some individuals might question, well, what are the benefits of membership with the Chamber? So what are your thoughts about that?
There are so many benefits. What I find is that a lot of people don't really understand what chambers are for. And so chambers are essentially for allowing, like I mentioned earlier, putting businesses in front of people that are key for success and sustainability of their business. So when it comes to being a member of the Chamber, not only are we having these just various events going from a social where you're able to socialize with other members and other businesses on the North Side, but we're creating subcontracting webinars, we're creating vendor events, we're creating events where you can get headshots updated, very simple things that seem small, but sometimes if people don't have the access to these things, they'll overlook them. And so we allow our members to attend these events for oftentimes free or discounted rates. And then what's really important to us is promoting our businesses. If you are a member of the Chamber, you're going to get promotion on our website, you're going to get promotion on our social media, like we love Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. We're going to make sure to share any of your upcoming events. If you are looking for some students to intern, or if you have availabilities at your company, we're promoting that. We're putting the word out there because we understand that our reach oftentimes is a lot wider than a single business. And then also we are allowing businesses to step in front. They can be the host of the events. If they want to host an event or they're able to talk about their business, maybe business insurance, they're able to host these events oftentimes for free. We will do the marketing again. We'll create that flyer for you. We'll send that out to everyone for you so that you can just show up, share your knowledge with the community on the North Side, and make sure that you're able to grow your business as well. And even just beyond that and stepping away from that, one thing that we do serve is as a tool. You know, after COVID, a lot has happened for business owners,
Absolutely.
even on the emotional side of like just running a business, running a family, also having a day job. And so we are creating events that are focused on the actual person. We're having a mental health event that's coming up in May. We're having a lot of outdoor events where people can focus on getting out, getting healthy. The Chamber is not just here to focus on the success of your business. Without the success of you and taking care of yourself, your business can't be successful.
That sounds magnificent. And of course, during COVID, there were quite a number of businesses that shuttered.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering whether or not that had a devastating impact upon the North Side as well.
It definitely
and how
did.
those businesses are recovering now.
It definitely has. I would say for the city of Houston as a whole, a lot of businesses closed following COVID because they're I would not say inability, but the difficulty in pivoting from where you have people coming into your store and then no longer having that, not having the capability to change and have a drive-through because of access to funding. And so that's also a thing that we allow our businesses to have is funding opportunities, so grants and different things like that. But back to the question, a lot of businesses on the North Side closed and they're not opening back up because of the access to funding, because of the hit that it takes when you have to shut down your business. Sometimes it can hit you to the point where you don't want to reopen. And so we're serving as a place where businesses can come and we can sit down and let's start over, let's start anew, let's redo this business plan, let's relook at it. Even if we decide not to go with the business idea that you had before, let's come up with a new one. We can offer you some advice on that because we want to make sure that people come to the North Side and they see the North Side as a place for business growth and business opportunity, not a place where businesses are just shutting down.
Sure. And that's very interesting, and that draws upon your background as well, academically and also professionally. But you know, I'm wondering, before I get to that point with you, I'd like to ask you what happens during another disruption. There are more businesses that could be put at risk, and I'm wondering about the resiliency component of that. How are the businesses now being prepared for that pivot?
So I think that a lot of businesses, because COVID was such an unexpected disruption and such an extreme one, that they've come up with action plans. They've come up with plans to where if we have to close our door tomorrow, we know there's ways for us to still reach our customers. They're learning how to use social media. People oftentimes overlook social media so much, but it's an amazing tool to get the word out about your business. If people want to access your services or your product, we can ship it to you. You don't have to come in store. Right. They're really creating alternative models for their business that don't have to just be contingent on in-person events, coming in person, coming to our coffee shop. We can have a drive-through. We can sell you coffee beans instead of you having to come here and buy the coffee. They're coming up with really smart and really strategic alternative paths to success that I think that they were not even thinking about prior to COVID.
So I hear you talking in a way that really makes me ask you specifically about your academic background and training. And I read that you'd also overseen other nonprofits as well. So tell us just a bit about that.
So as an academic, I study race, class, and gender and organizational theory. So simply put, that just means I study businesses. It's really important to me to understand not only the barriers that businesses face, but how they overcome them. That's what I'm really, really focused on, and that's what I focus on with all the businesses that I work with. So previously, prior to the Chamber, I worked for Feed the Soul Foundation, which was a nonprofit, and I've worked partnered with the Greater Houston Black Chamber, which you said, you know, you're very knowledgeable about the chambers in the area, but working with these chambers working with these nonprofits allowed me access to work with businesses. That is my main focus. Working with Feed the Soul, I was working directly with culinary professionals from across the nation. working with the Black Chamber, I was working with Black businesses throughout the city of Houston, and able to really understand how certain barriers and certain issues are specific to certain demographics. So the issues that some Black businesses were facing was specific to them, and so helping them to create strategies to overcome those barriers. Same thing with the culinary industry. We know what the culinary industry goes through as far as restaurants opening and closing every month, very quickly, the turnover rate. And so creating strategies that help them. And I realized through that I genuinely love working with nonprofits. Like, I love it. I love working with nonprofits that have a focus on businesses, which the Northside Chamber does. And it's truly at the heart of everything that we do, it's business focused. And so when the opportunity came for me to become the executive director, I jumped at the opportunity because I love the Northside, and I understand that there's so much opportunity there that I think people overlook and don't see because of COVID and a lot of the closing of the businesses. But I know that it's an area of opportunity, and I can use my skills and my knowledge in both academia and nonprofit.
Excellent.
To help grow these businesses.
Well, this is really very exciting, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, there were these statements for Women's History Month, and I read yours as well, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is a driving force here. That's the ethos.
Yes.
So tell me just a little bit about your comments, about your younger self and your perspective on your mindset.
So I think for me, when I was writing that, it was such a fun, engaging activity, but for me, it was making sure that I have a certain level of discernment. So I think a lot of business owners, there's so much information out there, whether we're talking about Google or there's so many resources out there, and we want to just jump at all of them. There has to be a certain level of discernment that you have, because not everyone has the best interest of you or your business at heart. And so being really strategic about what you're looking for, knowing what you need, number one, but then also being really strategic about the people that you bring onto your team as you build that team. And even further, one of the points that I talked about was unlearning a lot of the things that we have learned, which is putting barriers and limitations around us. Unlearn that. COVID has taught us anything. It's taught us that we have to just move freely and kind of just keep pivoting until you get it right. And so I would tell my younger self, unlearn all of those limitations that the world has put on you, and anything is possible.
Well, I certainly agree with you, and that's really powerful. And I think that will resonate with a number of individuals. So please stay with us. We're going to take another break, and we will be right back.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
The faculty at HCC represents the best of Houston. Whether your goal is a 4-year college, a better job, or a whole new career,
come learn with us.
HCC, for everyone, anytime, anyway.
Welcome back to Credential Up Houston. We're talking with Dr. Asheli Atkins of the Greater Northside Chamber of Commerce. She is the executive director there. And thank you so very much for staying with us. During the previous segment, Dr. Atkins, you were talking about some of the needs of the community and the fact that a number of the businesses closed during COVID. And obviously there are tremendous needs now, and the support that you said that you're seeking is really critically important. So tell us about some of that philanthropic support that you're seeking at this time, and other ways that organizations and individuals, in fact, can help.
So one thing that's really important on the North Side, which I mentioned earlier, about 70% of the residents are Hispanic, and a large portion of that group is Spanish-speaking only. So that means that a lot of the businesses on the North Side are Spanish-speaking only, and what I find through my research and through just talking to some of the members of the community is that there are very limited events that are Spanish-speaking events. So that means that you have a whole demographic that is not getting access to any of this amazing information, any of these resources that are out there. So when it comes to our partners, we really want to make sure to partner with organizations that can assist this community, assist this group. We don't want them to be forgotten or overlooked. And so what's really been helpful with for the chamber is that we're able to use our resources and our connections that we have already. So We have a Latin culinary roundtable coming up on April 24th, I believe, which is a Monday, and it's Spanish speaking only. And so we're partnering with Latin Restaurant Weeks. We're partnering with Hugo, he's a chef. We're partnering with a couple of very well-known restaurants, Alma's Latina and Chewy. What is it, Chewy with the munchies? I'm not sure if I'm getting the name right, sorry about that. But they are coming out to share information with that community that, again, is often overlooked. And so when we are partnering with organizations like HCC, like Minority Business Development, Pandemic Recovery Center, or just any of our partners, we want to make sure that they're open to giving resources to our community that they might not be used to giving, right? They might not be used to having Spanish-speaking only events, but they're flexible and they're open to doing that. When we're looking for philanthropic contributions to the chamber, we not only want people to donate money or to join the chamber, but we want people to understand that we give something in return as well. Whatever that looks like, whatever shaping that partnership looks like, we're open to that. We have partners. We partner with HTX Art, which is an art studio. They are one of our top supporters this year as far as partners, and they allow us to use their space to hold events. And what we do in return is we promote any event that they have. If they need volunteers, we're showing up. If they need bodies, we're coming. And the partnership and the efforts work both ways. It's definitely not a one-sided relationship when you are partnering or donating to the chamber. Right now, we are looking for larger sponsors and larger partners because we are planning more events, and more events requires, honestly, more money.
Of course.
And so we're wanting to make sure that we're able to reach the community in a way that they haven't really seen before. And so we want to partner with individuals that will allow us to give grants to these small business owners. Like I mentioned, a lot of these businesses shut down. And even if they didn't shut down, they downsized. And so we want to take some pressure off of them as they continue to grow and rebuild. And giving people money and giving people grants is the best way to take pressure off.
Yes.
But more importantly, beyond that, I personally don't believe in just giving businesses money without mentorship. Let us help you to figure out exactly what to do with those funds to make sure that you're using them properly and you're growing them.
Right, and of course that's really very important. Mm-hmm. So there would be that monitoring.
Yes.
Of that funding
and oversight.
Also, and the oversight. Mm-hmm. Now, you know, with the college, and you had mentioned HCC earlier, there are English as a second language courses,
yes.
There are GED courses as well that are provided. But at the Northside campus, you may want to talk to the president there as well about the digital learning center that will be there, that will provide that digital literacy and free community education also for residents of the community. And I think that would be a great resource. And of course, with all of the other programs that HCC has, and there are many, then that would be an opportunity for you to utilize the campus in order to bring some of the chamber members there to see what can be done to help uplift the community in terms of education and training. Now, I'm wondering, some of the chambers have what is called the Student Business Connector programs, where the students get engaged in working with chamber members as well as with some of the prospective chamber members. And I guess you don't have that
we do not have
with
that.
The chamber at this particular point.
That honestly sounds amazing, and something that we can definitely add on. Like I mentioned, students wanting to intern with different organizations.
Precisely.
We can identify the business and partner these students with it, whether you are in high school. I met some amazing students yesterday at HCC, West Institute, and the Maker Center. They are in high school, and just their minds and their readiness to learn and get out there and do business, we can definitely partner them with some business owners. Certainly,
and we have the entrepreneurial program, as you're well aware.
Yes.
And of course, we have a very, very vibrant business program also, which I think is really excellent. And I'm wondering, you mentioned the chamber's activities, and we have talked about the Student Connector program, but I'm wondering as well about the student memberships. Are there some opportunities for students to become members of the chamber?
So we have a professional level, which is just for an individual. We do offer discounts. So if a student wants to join and they send us a message and say, you know, I'm attending HCC, I would love to join the chamber, we do offer reduced rates for students. And what that comes with is, even if you're not a business owner, even if you're just kind of exploring what you really want to do, coming to these networking events, networking with people who have been in their industries and in their careers for 10, 20 years, being able to pick their brains kind of allows you to filter down exactly what you want to do. So to any students that want to join, come on over. We're on the north side. We would love to have you as members, because the youth are literally the future of business growth for the city of Houston and for the north side.
Of course, you're absolutely right. And I'm wondering, you know, you've talked about a number of initiatives, which I think is absolutely impressive. What would be the number one initiative that you're going to go after?
Our number one initiative is allowing people to see us, so increasing visibility. Like I mentioned, a lot of people do not understand what chambers are at all. And we've been around for 10 years. We've been around since 2013, and most people on the North Side are not even aware of that. And so I want people to be aware not only that the chamber just exists, but they know exactly what they need, what they can come to us for. They know what we're here for. So we become a go-to source for business development, resources, training, grants, internships, mentorship. They see us as that go-to place, and they don't have to spend so much time searching and wait, trial and error. If you come here, you're going to get what you need. And if we, for whatever reason, cannot assist you, we have amazing resources, like you mentioned with HCC. You all have a small business success series, phenomenal small business success series. So we've been pushing a lot of people towards that series, which it is like 6 weeks training with different industry professionals. And so even if we can't offer people that are coming to us certain things, we have amazing partners and amazing members that we can connect them with.
Well, that sounds very, very, very good. And I'm wondering, what is your appeal to prospective members of the chamber? You mentioned, I think you have about 40 active businesses now that are affiliated with the chamber. What is your goal now?
So our goal now, as we are aware, following COVID, a lot of businesses closed. A lot of businesses had to just reallocate where they spent their money, so what they would spend on dues, they're spending in different areas. So now our focus, honestly, is growing our membership base. We have some very amazing members like Metro, Baker's Ripley just recently became a member of the Northside Chamber, the Greater Northside Management District. We have amazing members, but growing that membership base, because the more we're able to grow the membership base, the more we're able to reach and put our hands on a lot of these businesses and make sure that they have what they need. And so I attempt, and I want to make sure that we are sort of a cover for these businesses as things are happening on a local level, on a national level that could impact businesses. We are covering them and we're keeping them informed with what's happening.
Okay, and the dues, how much?
So dues vary. So they can range anywhere from $150 all the way up to $1,000. But again, we have a lot of discounts, especially when it comes to students. And dues cover for the entire year, and they come with access to our members-only portal. We have a members-only portal where members can have access to all information nice and early.
Excellent. Contact information.
They can reach us at info@northsidechamber.org, or you can email me at Northsidechamber.org. Once again, that's Northsidechamber.org.
Excellent, excellent. Very, very exciting.
Thank you so much.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure that we will see tremendous success.
We hope so.
In the North Side. And we thank you also very much for watching. Please plan to join us again next time.